Good evening, everyone. This is Dale Ketter. It's 10 p.m. here in Missouri, and I'm here to stream Pillars of Eternity to rest my feet after a long day at work. It is a very cold day here in Missouri, and I'm worried that my heating might actually turn on and make it impossible for me to stream. Thankfully, it's warm enough in my room that my very, very loud heating isn't going to disrupt my voiceover. So anyway, fuck it, YOLO, let's do this. Let me see. Um, the art I commissioned from Alpha Re, an artist on Twitter and Tumblr, came. I had her draw my four characters as a standard adventuring party. And there seems to be some weird texture on the art, which kind of makes it look like these are pages from an old book. I've asked her about it because it kind of doesn't match the way she did my banner. But anyway, I'm not an artist and I'm not really that well versed in art, so I'll use this until she can correct it or explain what is going on. Anyway, click and we are in game. The sound is playing from the wrong device. Fuck. Oh, goodness. This is embarrassing. Okay, I have to restart the game because apparently I was using my speakers instead of my headphones, and the game is incapable of switching sound devices without a restart. So here we go. Let's skip this intro movie. And loading. Okay. Okay, I guess I didn't get to stir my hot chocolate as much. Okay, let's see. Is it actually capturing this thing? It is. Alright, YOLO, let's do this. Let me just make sure that the volume, yep, it's maxed out. Barbarians have many abilities that make them well suited for engaging groups of enemies, which is moot because there are no barbarian companions and I'm not playing a barbarian. I think Maneha might be a barbarian, I'm not sure.
I shall.
Okay, so let's me check my this is my main quest, Never Far from the Queen. I basically have to go to Defiance Bay to progress the plot. But what I wanted to do before heading out there is to finish all the side quests in Gilded Vale. So this is the final quest in Gilded Vale. Basically kill Lord Radric or work for him. There's a Mother's Plea, and there are these companion quests. The Long Hunt is Sagani's quest. This is Grieving Mother's quest. This is the Stronghold quest. This is Kana's, Duran's, and Adair. Okay. I guess.
Yeah?
One thing I want to do is let me try exhausting the dialogue options while I'm, I guess, drinking my coffee.
As a peripatetic
or
lord,
rather,
I'm not privy to the latest news.
chocolate,
But the
rather.
Hollowborn Children is a tale that has reached even my reclusive ears. Or rather, ear.
What do the Glanfather and Druids think of this plight?
It's been a long time since I've spoken with my circle. They'd probably tell you what I'd tell you. This plight was most certainly the consequence of someone trespassing into Nguithan places, not meant for folk. I mean, what else other than the gods could inflict punishment of such impressive scale?
What are your thoughts on the Hollowborn?
Anytime a life is separated from its soul, I wanted to pretend it was just a rumor when I first heard of it. In my youth, I'd cursed the dear Woodens for being ignorant to spoilers that breed out of control. But soulless babies? What heartless gods would inflict that kind of tragedy? No parent or child deserves to be a part of that horror.
You know, for a barbaric nature hero, Hiravias is like really, really eloquent. Let's talk about the matters.
Need something?
Tell me about yourself.
My second favorite subject.
He runs his fingers through his scalp, preening his fur.
What would you like to know?
How did you come to be trained as a druid? Hiravias thumbs his half-shutted ear and thinks to himself for several seconds. It wasn't entirely by choice, not at the start at least. My ambition was to be a hunter. I merely arrived by a different trail. As a child, an Anamfath came to visit. An honored guest is occasion for a grand chase, but I was left out. Instructed instead to be cupbearer to the old wise one while the rest were on hunt. I'm sure you can guess what happens. Wise Anamfath gives dumb child a shred of attention. We ended up talking until the hunters returned. He gave me his hands dart across his body, scouring the pockets and folds of his tunic. This. He possessed a rusted iron medallion fashioned in the likeness of a hound's head, a common icon among the frontiersmen, explorers, and other seekers faithful to Gallowayne. The Anamfath insisted I be trained, and none in my village would defy him. Now, he smiles broadly, I don't need a bow to hunt. Where are you from originally?
My mother's crotch. You?
What a coincidence! I also came from your mother's crotch.
For the record, only I'm allowed to insult my mother. But I respect your dedication to banter, so I'll let it slide. This time.
Okay.
I grew up in Erglonfoth, specifically in and around Thane Bog. My people, the Fisher Crane tribe, are migrant stewards of the land. I've walked the whole of Glonfoth many times.
What's the story behind the symbol of whale in your eye patch? Oh, yeah, he does have the symbol of whale in his eye patch. Whale is known as the eyeless face, so his symbol seemed a good fit for my eye patch. He absentmindedly runs his finger along the strap of the patch band. Whale iconography is rather popular in my home tribe, but it seems he is not as widely venerated here in the Deerwood. I remember thinking that if I consecrated my eye to he who obfuscates and reveals, and maybe with enough devotion, Whale would make use of old ruined thing. He pulls on the eye patch strap and lets it go with a loud snap. So if you think you see me staring at rumps and cleavage, it's really just a will of whale controlling my gaze. Honest. What's your relationship with Gallowayne? I was raised as a disciple of the Seeker God. He is the champion of the hunt, be it the simple struggle for sustenance or the scholarly pursuit of knowledge. In my older years, I've found, he cuts himself off, shakes his head, and starts again. Life has shown me I am more suited to the ways of whale. The furious hunt for knowledge often outpaces the journey to real understanding. Druids are known for changing into animals. What sort of creatures can you become? He takes a half step backward as you ask the question. All sorts of things, he says quietly, with a long, uncomfortable gaze. Iravia stares at you blankly, arms folded. Let's discuss something else. Any man with your scars has a story to tell. I'm just going to ask you later if you don't tell me now.
Yes, I suppose you should know.
Alright.
I struggled with spirit shifting, the final rite of passage in my druidic training. I prayed to Gallowayne for insight and, in the style of seekers of old, went to the forest, alone, to ask for guidance.
Okay.
Then I got my answer. An answer at least. In the form of a vibrantly colored Stelgar that pounced from the underbrush and made a salient demonstration of its capacity to eat things 1/15th its size.
1/15th its size. You're alive today. How did you fend off the beast?
Fend it off? I ripped off its arm and sent it running. As the beast was lopping off bits of my handsomeness, I remember trying to fight back, swinging with arms too short to reach. I felt I had the energy for one last swipe at the beast's nose, and when I lashed out with a punch, my arm felt twice as massive, and my fingers sprouted talons.
Ooh. I need to stir this. There's some clumps of chocolate here from the Swiss Miss.
In a rush of power, I shifted into a mirror of my assailant. Apparently, he couldn't pick on someone his own size. By the battle's end, his severed arm was in my maw. The beast limped away in defeat.
That's quite an impressive tale. I thought learning to spirit shift would win me some respect, maybe trap myself an Adiran lass with a lust for little men. Alas, I might have been better off staying a novice. When I wandered back to my village, they saw my wounds and asked what happened. I showed them. The name they called my form was the Autumn Stelgar, and his mouth opens, but he hesitates for a long moment before choosing his words. They were not impressed. The Rio of my circle believed the Autumn Stelgar to be a heinous abomination. It is said that if it eats you, your soul is invariably lost, and this was my first and most intuitive form. They deemed me a carrier of its evil. Oh no. Rip. Even though I never so much as threatened my kin, I was ruled unfit and cast out. Ivravia sighs, scratching his scarred face. I don't know what message Galloway was trying to send. The only lesson I learned was that the Seeker God will punish you for seeking. Um, so you're some sort of soul cannibal? Hiravia stares at you with a frown before covering his face in his hands. No, he mutters. At least I think not. I've never actually sat down and eaten an entire person to find out. I'm not that curious to find out. You didn't choose your spirit shifting form? No, he says with a huff. It chose me, or so I imagine. I always assumed I would shift into a stoat. Seems more true to my nature. He points to the embossed pattern of whale in his eye patch. As the obscured teaches, when the answer is inscrutable, one must be content to ponder the question. Were at least recognized as a proper druid? His brow furrows. No, but I know I passed an initiation rite 5 times more perilous than any of those kin betrayers that insisted I was a failure. Can you learn to spirit shift into something less terrifying? Already can and sometimes do, he says with a beaming smile that quickly returns to a scowl. But the druids of my circle assign great meaning to one's first form. I'll always be unclean to them. And thank you for sharing your story.
Well, if you don't know me, you can't trust me. And if you can't trust me, odds are low you'll leap in front of a flying arrow to save my life. I've been meaning to visit the druids of Twin Elms to see if they know more about my spirit shift. If our journey takes us there, perhaps they can enlighten me with more information about the Autumn Stelgar. But for now, maybe we can talk about something less depressing?
Yes, we can go there in Act 3. I want to hear more about Galawain and Whale. He stares at you blankly with his one eye. Oh, not sure what more there is to say on the subject unless you were itching for a religious debate. Tell me more about your thoughts on Whale. Excuse me? I came to know Whale in earnest in the first year of my exile. I asked myself why Galawain would punish me for asking questions. What just and fair god would punish me for doing as he asks? Questioning why I had been mauled just drove me mad. At the height of my worry, I would have dreams where I only saw with my injured eye. My healthy eye became blind in my dreams. He lifts up the eye patch to gently itch at the socket. You catch a quick glimpse of a puckered and scarred abscess under the whale embroidered patch. So one afternoon I stitched a stylized eye motif on the patch. I like to think of it as my self-initiation rite into the Brotherhood of Whale. Whale is not an instructive or overbearing deity. He does not freely dispense wisdom and expect all of us to question and explore with our own minds. Whale reminds me that curiosity is being receptive to any and all truths, not hunting for any one answer. Has Whale ever actually spoken directly to you or sent you a sign? No, never directly, he says with a smile, which is as it should be, given what he represents. I especially like how Whale never sends wild beasts to maul me, but maybe I have low expectations of such things. Yeah, let's speak of something else. Galawain and Whale. What more can you tell me about Galawain? A frown overcomes his face as he ponders your question. Consider it a lapsed devotion. I will always respect the Seeker God, but he visited ruination on me when all I sought was knowledge, just as he thought it should be. He meshes his fingers together and flexes his digits until the joints pop and click. Galloway left his mark on me. When I see my shifted reflection, I'm reminded of his presence. Galloway still inspires my fear, just not my worship. In fairness to Galloway, you did learn the spirit shift after the attack. Are you not thankful for that? Iravia stares at you in silence for a long moment before erupting. Thankful? Thankful for being marked as a pariah? He tears a chunk of red and orange off the side of his head with a growl. You see tiny buds of new hairs begin to regrow almost instantly. He lets out a sigh until his little body stops shaking. I respect what you're trying to say. Yes, Galloway gave me my form, and I certainly wasn't learning on my own. I guess he tries to make eye contact, but his gaze falls to the ground. I guess I'm thankful that he gave me a true hunter's form, just as I prayed. Maybe I'm the fool for wanting the wrong thing. Something else. I guess, Oh! Tell me of Air Glanfath. It's a verdant land of history, culture, and natural beauty. His voice falls to a half whisper as he adds, and we already have enough unwanted trespassers, so I recommend you never visit. Do you miss it? Used to, he says with a slight frown. He scratches his shredded ear and looks eastward. It's home. I'll go back eventually, but He turns his attention to his shoulders and picks a small seed from the fibers of his tunic. See this? He holds up the seed. I know, just a seed, but I've never seen this type before, and I'm itching to find out what grows from it. Every day I see something new out here. I'll return home eventually, but for now my curiosity exceeds my nostalgia sevenfold. I too am an exile from my adopted home, and also my original home, so I kind of feel you, Hiravias. Why should I avoid Air Glanfath? He looks at you puzzled. There are no cities to visit, no centers of commerce to explore. It would seem most visitors come to our lands to pillage the Ingwithan ruins. The ancient Ingwithans gave the forests to our ancestors, and in return we watch their ruins and see to it that they remain untouched. And before you ask, no, we don't have a secret passphrase or hand gesture. Nobody enters the ruins, not even the guardians and watchers. What can you tell me of your tribe? I'm from the Fisher Crane tribe. Most of my people live far to the southeast, in and around the Thane Bog. He weaves his fingers together and cracks his joints in a flexing motion of wet snaps. The tribe is not one of great renown, but we, Iravius pauses for a moment, they protect their lands in accordance with the sacred oath of old, and as much as it pains me, this is an extraneous it, and as much as it pains me to say it, I wouldn't want any other tribe's name attached to my own. Did you grow up in a bog? Only briefly. Here, let me show you something. Don't commit any of it to memory, please. Hiravias rolls up his sleeves and shows you his forearms. The soft brown fur of his arms is lined with faint stains of henna and scar tissue. This is where I grew up, on the migration trail. I had it marked on my arms during my training. While much of the tribe guards the Thane Bog year-round, many of us, including the Circle of Hawk and Ivy, honor the oath by patrolling lesser-known ruins scattered throughout the lands. He points at several of the henna crescents on his forearm. We eschew houses, take only what we can carry, and move camp every 2 moons to ensure that all our sacred sites are visited at regular intervals. This nomadic patrol is how my druid circle came to name itself. We circle and protect like hawks, but we only ever perch on the ivy of the ruins, that is, nearby trees, never to enter the builders' lairs. Why aren't the Fisher Cranes well regarded? Because the other tribes are insufferable sibling spawn? He grins broadly and stares at you for several silent moments. I suppose the Fisher Cranes have a reputation for being passive and reluctant to fight, which is another way of saying the other tribes fight hard while we fight smart. Our namesake, the Fisher Crane, Hydratus, is a marshland raptor that remains stark still from sunrise to noon. We are invisible stewards of the land and patient hunters of those who trespass. The 3-tusked Stelgar tribes see our methods as soft and unbecoming, but I hear they use the same word for cousin as they do for whore in their dialect. Just an observation. Oh my goodness. Could you join a different tribe? Iravius frowns and shakes his head. There are tribes that would take me. The twice-lit arrows adopt outcasts like myself, but their ways are not my own. Some of them even live under roofs. How obtuse! He looks off to the southeast and sighs. I long for a home, not just any home. But Whale has made my wanderings fruitful, and I accept that it may not be until my soul passes that I rejoin the Fisher Cranes. Other questions about Erglanfath. Aren't most Orlans in Erglanfath wild? Let's be racist.
Wild? Yes, I suppose all of us were a bit wild as my tribe was migratory and we didn't live in permanent houses. But I understand what you're trying to ask. Yes, a slight plurality of Glanfath and Orlans have forest plumage. Growing up with meadow plumage, I was assumed to be weaker than others my age.
Forest... Okay, that's a polite term. Forest plumage instead of meadow plumage.
The huntmaster of my tribe only chose apprentices from the forested kin, or rather, wild Orlans, as they're called amongst slave-owning bigots, as well as bigots too broke to own slaves. I grew up in Erglanfath, specifically in and around Thane Bog. My people, the Fisher Crane tribe, are migrant stewards of the land. I've walked the whole of Glanfath many times.
Some other time. Your loss. Oh. Ooh. Find a druid who knows the Autumn Stelgar. So there may be a druid in Twin Elves who would know more. Let's have to continue the conversation.
Need something?
Glanfath. What did the Glanfathans think of the Deerwood and its people? Hiravius spits. Foreign looters obsessed with wealth and wine, may their bowels be obstructed with pus-sweeping nodules, every one of them. His scowl lingers and he scratches at his ear stump. Not that you're asking a neutral party. When I was an insufferable child, and I usually was, my parents told me dear Woodens would enslave me in this life and the next if I didn't behave. But I'm in their lands now, and I will, in the interest of academic fairness, admit that I've met several decent, mostly non-rabid dear Woodens. He looks askance and folds his arms, but my suspicion about them all being drunkards has proved entirely accurate. I wonder what great wonders they'd accomplish if they all sobered up.
I grew up in Glonfoth, specifically in and around Thane Bog. My people, the Fisher Crane tribe, are migrant stewards of the land. I've walked the whole of Glonfoth many times. What would you like to know?
I guess that's all of his dialogue. Alright, let's talk to Adair again.
What's on your mind?
I want to ask something about you. If you're sure, what did you do before this?
Oh, other than the war, I never strayed too far from where you found me. Farming, mostly. I was never much for cities. Never learned a trade. In my younger days, I thought I was going to go preach the word of Aethys, just in our temple there. My parents encouraged it. I made so much trouble for them growing up. They used to say it'd be best if I got in good with the God of Redemption. Of course, us blowing him up probably didn't help my chances there. But if anybody'd forgive you for blowing him up, it'd be Aethys.
Did the people of Gilded Vale really try to kill you?
They did. It was strange timing, because we just won the war. They celebrated when I came home. There was music and dancing. Trumbull used half his grain making this big honey cake. I still dream about that cake. Like having the best lover of your life, but only for one night. And they were all sorry to hear about my brother. Took a while for word of the purges to reach us. Aethasians being murdered in the streets. Cold morn and the like. No way would they let something like that happen in Gilded Vale. That's what they all said. But the weeks went by and the purges spread. Pretty soon they weren't so sure my brother fought for Deerwood. And they weren't so sure I did. Caught me by surprise after all the celebrating. Should have seen it coming after the tailor said he was going to fit me for some new clothes, but then all he wanted was my neck measurement.
Really?
Nah, not that last part. But you had to think about it. Says a lot about the place I've been calling home all these years.
Why did you stay for so long in a town that hated you?
I'm sure my parents are still wondering the same thing. The Aethasian purges were like this madness had come over the town, like a disease. Seems like when you see something like that, your instinct is to wait for it to pass, even when you know it probably won't. The family whose farm I worked on, they had a little hollowborn girl. And they heard the Animancers had this cure, salvation it was called. They went running. This salvation, they were putting animal souls in children. You might have heard about it, giving them enough personality to care for themselves. Well, you can guess how that turned out. Matter of time, the children broke down, became wild things, monsters. Anyway, these farmers put the family dog's soul in their little girl. For a while, the girl, she's making eye contact, she's feeding herself, albeit in a kinda messy way. And one day she snaps. They found her gnawing on her brother's bones. Had to chain her up, put her in a cow pen. Well, the mother, she wouldn't have anything to do with the girl after that. But the father, he'd visit every day, feed her chickens, toss water on her once in a while to get the dirt off. Most of the village, they'd whisper about him. Poor man, they'd say, sick with grief. He was just waiting for his daughter to look up one day and recognize her papa. He was waiting for her to get better. Didn't understand that at the time, of course, but these days I think about him a lot.
Do you have any family? Just my parents now. They took a ship back to Adair when the purges started. Wanted me to go with them, but I didn't see things like they did. Been a long time since I've seen them. I really should visit, but for some reason I haven't felt like leaving home. Good thing they chased me out, or I might have never left. Tell me about your brother.
Woden was, about everything you'd want your firstborn son to be. Dutiful, honest. Put thought into everything he did. Real pain in my ass. Made me look bad about every way he could. It wasn't something he tried to do, but of course that just makes it worse.
Oh.
Not that he didn't get into trouble himself. He was just better about feeling guilty after. We used to have this farmer near us, Hereward. Couldn't stop talking about how well he cared for his chickens, how their feathers were the whitest in town. Convinced the butcher to pay him double what the other farmers got. Me and Woden got tired of hearing it. I was maybe 11, 12 at the time. We borrowed about 6 different dyes from the dyer one night. Dyed Hereward's chickens every color but white. Next morning, the butcher comes knocking, asking for 6 of his whitest chickens. We were feeling great, up until Hereward saw what we'd done. He just got on his knees and cried right there, all those colorful chickens around him not knowing what to make of it. I thought it served him right, but I could tell Woden had other thoughts. Sure enough, the next day, every one of those chickens had been scrubbed down. They weren't white, mind you, but Woden sure tried. Never said a word to me about it, but I knew. That was Woden. My parents, they always let us be who we were. Never told me to be more like him or anything like that. Which was good, because I was never gonna.
I need to ask Khajiit if he's ever considered dyeing his chickens. Okay, I want to ask you about something else.
What's on your mind?
I was wondering about Eothas.
It makes 2 of us.
What is there to know about Eothas?
If you're looking to find religion, maybe you want to start with a god that hasn't been burned to dust, but I won't stop you. Eothas, he was a young man with a silver crown. Carried a candle around with him. Sounds like I'm giving a bad eulogy here.
He was a lot of different things to different people, I guess. Rebirth, redemption, light. This is the key word here, rebirth. He's not dead, because his domain is rebirth. Out in the country, he's gone, the farmer who helps all things pass, seasons and people both. He watches over the week that's gone, season bounds is made right. You can see why all the copperless rowdies around here might take a liking to someone like that. He was real popular here for a time. These days, you won't find too many worshipping Eothas in the open. It's hard to know who still does it in private and who's given up. Feels like I'm the last one sometimes. If that's the case, he deserves all the mourning. Do you still worship Eothas?
In my way. I don't suppose he expects me to show up at his temple these days. Not much left to do for him other than keep his memory alive and keep hoping that he's just been playing a joke on all of us these past 15 years.
As far as I know, he hasn't said anything to anybody since the Godhammer detonated. But why worship him then? He grimaces. Well, if it turns out he's not dead and I gave up on him, I'd have betrayed my god twice. Even the god of redemption's gotta have standards. I'd probably be reborn as a fat Amaas horse. Oh boy. That's not really it though, not all of it anyway. He casts a sidelong glance. I guess it's more I still believe in the things he believed in. I just hope his death doesn't mean the death of those things as well. Sometimes it looks that way. Okay, well, why did you choose to worship Eothas in the beginning?
Raised that way. My family's been Eothasian going way back. Suppose it wasn't much of a choice at first. Don't know for sure why my family started worshipping him. Probably because of Gon looking after folks like us.
He looks you in the eye, conspiratorial. Could just as well be that my ancestor did something so bad only Eothas could forgive. It'd explain a lot about where I got some of my less respectable traits. Do you only worship him because that's how you were raised?
Mm-mm. There was something I genuinely liked about Eothas. Always. Like he understood people better than the other gods. Knew all our flaws and weaknesses and accepted us for that. Folks are at their worst when they're afraid. A god like Eothas, he made you realize there was nothing to fear. Made you a better person. Of course, he goes away for a few years, and look what happens.
What made you think Widewind didn't speak for Eothas?
Was his actions. Not when he started his rebellion, and not even when he took over Raed Saris. It was when he sent his armies into Deerwood.
Up to that point, he was sticking up for his people. That's what Eothas does, at least the Gon part of him. Those farmers were starving, their government didn't lift a finger. I figured if it wasn't Eothas himself, at least he had the right idea. But then he sent armies across the border, even crossed it himself in the end. Word was he was chasing refugees that escaped the rebellion. Wanted to punish them, and punish us for allowing them to live here. That just didn't fit for me. Those are the deeds of a vengeful god, Skane, or Wicca, maybe. Or just a man who'd lost his sense. I still have trouble believing it, but there's no one left to ask if it's true. Tell me about the purges.
You sure you don't want to talk about something more pleasant? Like the War of Black Trees
Or Black
Legacy
Trees.
or something?
It's eye-opening seeing just how naked you are when you've got no god to protect you. The Saints' War was a hard time to be a Derwooden. People thought it was the end times. They talked big about how we were gonna defeat a god, but I don't think there was a man from here to the White Marsh didn't think he was gonna die. It does something to you, thinking you're gonna die at someone else's hands. There's a rage that comes, indignation. Imagine a whole country full of that. It might have been Coldmore that started it. Town near the border. They let Widewood march right on through. Rest of Deerwood cursed their names till the end of the war. Some say it was the Eothasians there that persuaded the town not to oppose the army. Others said it was just cowardice. It was like the legacy that way. No one knew the real reason, so they just picked whichever one best suited what they wanted to believe. Either way, the town was burning before the first ashes of Eothas hit the ground, and it felt good to the people here to be in control after being so helpless. So the fire spread. A lot of us Eothasians went the way of our god. There were claims from the Church of Magron that she'd actually commanded the purges. I found that hard to believe. Sounded to me like people doing what they wanted, wrapping their god around it like she was a cloak. But then again, that's what I thought about Widewood. Okay, let's ask him about something else.
What's on your mind?
Let's keep moving. That's all of it.
Yes?
Let's,
Yes?
I guess, talk to Aloth. How may I be of service? Tell me about Adir. I've been gone for more than a year now, but I suspect I'll always think of the forests and fields of Adir as home. We have thousands of years of history and tradition behind us, and there's a sense of dignity and responsibility that comes with that. Of course, there's baggage as well. Our imperial past is still fresh in the minds of many, as you may have noticed here. Has it been difficult to adjust to the Deerwood? People here are informal, hot-blooded. His mouth twists into a wry smirk, more attentive to insult than to duty, but as long as one avoids provocation, it's easy enough to get along. He steeples his fingers. I've gotten accustomed enough to keep my thoughts to myself anyway. How long were you in Gilded Vale? We are still in Gilded Vale. He shrugs, fidgeting with the hem of his sleeve. Not much longer than you. As you saw, it was hardly the haven that had been advertised. Any thoughts on what I should do next? Merwald urged you to seek out these leaden key agents in Defiance Bay, yes? If his condition is any warning, we should find them in all haste. That's all.
How may I help?
Let's try another dialogue tree. I guess, oh, he doesn't have anything else. Durance! The asshole. Let's click on him. Thought I felt your eyes on me, now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
But why were we supposed to meet? The why of it is you're a watcher, he snorts. A watcher runs two roads of why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you, but now seeking out watchers is what I do, to put the truth to them, see which of the two ways they bend. He smiles slightly taunting. Truth? What kind of truth? Either you're a dry field in need of a harvest burning, he frowns for a moment, his eyes flat, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way, you can see differently from others. He gives a half smile, and his tone becomes accusing. I can tell by the way you notice the staff first off. Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flames, but your eyes. He stares at you almost eagerly, nodding. Your eyes trace the path that I could see. So which are you, a dry field or lost in darkness? Durance's face tenses. The day we don't trade that question back and forth is the day our paths no longer need to be joined. And the trial? Durance's hand clenches his staff. The trial is done. So you don't know either. You know this nation is diseased. Don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the roads with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. With knives in hands and murder in their eyes. The land needs life again, new seeds planted in the burned soil. His voice drops, mocking, and his eyes narrow. And something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test the truth, you don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course, one truth to match another, matching each other's piece, keeping rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. And when you knock one truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, his smile dies and his eyes narrow. Why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. Is that why you carry that staff? Is that why Durance is about to launch another volley of words, blinks, then he rolls his head back and laughs deeply, the laughter coming until it seems the air will run out of his lungs, until it seems forced. Perhaps your true words are worth listening to, Watcher. He frowns, any trace of humor gone. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see. Let me ask you about something else.
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
I wanted to know more about you. Where are you from?
Where I hail from? From one of Margren's fires. A cathedral. Ashfall. Made of blackened trees. I studied the scriptures there. The fires carved into the land. The trunks of the burnt trees. And in the factories where the rifles and cartridges were shaped. All are chapels in other devotion.
So here's a cool thing about Pillars of Eternity. Malkran, the goddess of fire, is also the patron of firearms. Basically, firearms are kind of like her holy weapons. Which is like a really, really funny take on a goddess of fire. Or god of fire, rather. Other devotions? Durance nods. For Malgran, any fire is enough for worship, physical or not. A blacksmith's anvil, a craftsman's bench, all arenas where fire is waiting to be born. Durance snaps his finger. It just needs a spark, like an alchemical fire or a spark to cartridges to speed them to their purpose. Their purpose? Durance tilts his head, thinking, well, their purpose, then. It was many thens ago. Beard was a little brighter than now. But yes, cartridges, guns all had a purpose, and that purpose was punching holes in mages and letting their pompous air hiss out. Durance gives a half smile, then a nod. Woke their kind right up and kept them staring at the ceiling in the dark instead of sleeping, that's for certain. Aloth rolls his eyes. Pompous air indeed. A little violence is an accounting, an answer for unchecked power. Well, Malgran gave an answer for that. Malgran put soldiers and mages on equal footing? Durance nods again. Mages were troublesome in that time. Firearms made every man a mage, and the caster's pretty arcane shield was little match for them. It turned each commoner into a beast that could spit fire. It leveled the field of battle, that's for certain, and made many a mage a grave. Tell me more about Ashfall. You're more curious about it than most of Malgran's faithful. What else can you tell me about Ashfall? What more to tell? Durance frowns, his hand tightening on his staff again, his fingers seeming to shrink into the wood. It is one of the greatest fires of Malgran, the High Seat. He shrugs. Some say the blackest, not of evil, but of ash, all that remains after fire has fed. He pauses. I called it a cathedral before. That's not the full truth of it. It's more a battlefield. It lies in the heart of the war of black trees, its timbers built from the burnt forest there. Each timber blessed by fire, one of Malgran's greatest battles. Many of us helped shape the war effort there with flames and firearms. What is the cathedral like? Massive, beautiful, blessed by the goddess. Flame cannot strike it twice. Durance's eyes travel to his ashen staff, studying the etchings. Beneath, tunnels and chambers, bellows and fire pits, and many of the faithful looking for a means to bring fire to the world. He turns his gaze from the staff to you. Guns, explosives, alchemy, all of these are our holy symbols, and we are eager to share. That staff of yours seems like your holy symbol. Keep troubling me, and I may extend the tithe bowl for each question. Enough questions for now. Let the road keep us until the next campfire. So Durance has a lot of dialogue, and eventually he will get fed up with you until you rest. You have to rest to reset his dialogue, and so you can talk to him again.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed. Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I had questions for you. Let your mind speak for you. I shall listen past the words. You addressed me as a Watcher when we met. Do you know what a Watcher is? There is a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she is going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen.
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle, a familiar one.
Yet I do not know from where it came, if I have given offense. Oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. If I... Oh, shoot. Accidentally hit the button. If I've given offense, forgive me, forgive me. You would know more than I. Have you encountered Watchers before? I do not know. It is an old feeling. I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when you saw me. It is said Watchers see much that others do not, and I have been hidden from the eyes of others for some time. Let me ask you about something else. If I have answers, I will share them. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see me, but their minds will not remember past the call.
Call?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me. But to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear. A peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? I divert the flow of their senses down a different path, to a place easily forgotten. It is not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds register a figure, but the memory slips away. They see a woman, but there is no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions, and I have none to ask. Let's discuss something different. I want to discuss something different. When we first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
As she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, like the blood of the hunt welling up in you. You suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her ever knowing. There is something about her mind, like a weapons rack, where you could reach in and draw forth a blade if you wish and keep it as your own. Ooh, interesting. Fighter. And suddenly, you find yourself back in your present thoughts. Though you were away for but a moment, she seems unaware of your diversion of thought. It may be one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks upon the ground. May I try again? You feel her slowly nod, though she makes no motion. My mind is open to you as it was before when we met. I could not stop you if I wished. I do not want to impose. I seek your permission. I'm not gonna mindfuck you, lady. My memory is not as it was. Much has been forgotten. If you would walk in my thoughts, I have nothing hidden. Our thoughts feel strangely apologetic and welcoming both at once. Perhaps you may learn something that will strengthen you, or a clue to what has caused this terrible burning of the fields of souls and halted Barath's wheel. Her mind gives way, your passage almost unnoticed as you enter her as before, uwu, circling the memory you shared when you first met. And suddenly you are calm. You are on a plateau, almost the height of a tower several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest hazy with mist, although whether it is actual mist or distance or recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention as if looking down on you at the event unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body. Your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And focus on the chimes. The chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You are on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver white, shimmering like Adra? The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Barath's wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child. And you can feel the crowning of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick, wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing, inhabiting, have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb, helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing cry out. Focus on the child, the movement of your hands. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort, of that you are certain. Draw the child forth, and coaxed by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope. No, an umbilical cord from the legs of the naked woman before you. You are holding a small child, still wet from the womb before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Surrender the child. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before. And as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists, and where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. The child is here, the child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the memory persists. Okay, I'm going to slowly pull back, retreat from the memory. With effort, the scene bleeds of color and your mind becomes your own again. The grieving mother stands silently before you. She seems unaware of what you've seen, or that you've entered her memories at all. I walked again in your dreams, thoughts, and I believe your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chimes at her wrists calling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
The dream, the memory I saw upon meeting you, it was you helping give birth to a child. There is silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance, a newborn child almost exactly like what you heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both her hands as if weaving, her wrists chiming as she does so, in a semblance of the gentle turning she provided while the newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognize the motions and the words from the memory, even as they are new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, the child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weaves almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar, just as she did in the memory. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were cut, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, the chimes echoing her movements. In a ragged voice, you hear her speak. The voice is that of a much older woman than the one before you, harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
We were in the middle of a clear forest, with a strong wind, it's a huge forest stretching out beneath a great rock. As she kneels before you on the ground, she whispers to you hoarsely and even fainter than with the distance between you.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
It was silver Adra, its surface warmed by the sun. As you watch, her hands rise before her. She clasps them, then cups them, as if feeling them for the first time, and as she stares down into the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice. Hold on, let me reread that. As you watch, her hands rise before her. She clasps them, then cups them, as if feeling them for the first time. And she stares down into the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice, as they swing with the movement.
And what did these hands hold?
They held a mother while she gave birth painfully. She leans back as if looking back at the sky, but her eyes are closed, the film building on them. With a slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. I do not feel the memory. I do not know if it is mine, but thank you for trying. Okay, I chose the wrong words. Try again. Click, 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 Click.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Hold on, let me actually scroll up. Plateau. I think it was a huge forest.
The stone of the plateau.
Adra.
And what did these hands hold?
The same chimes you hold now. She leans back as if looking back at the sky, but her eyes are closed, the film building on them. With a slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. God damn it! I want to see your memories again. Plateau. Plateau in a forest. Okay, let's see. What color was it? Silver. Okay, let's try again.
And what did you see in my memories? Tell me what you saw.
Forest.
The stone of the plateau.
Adra.
And what did these hands hold?
I am not sure. There was a child you were bringing forth in your hands. I don't recall. There is a sudden intake of breath and then a release. Her eyes blur closed, forming into slits. But in the brief glimpse you have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seems to have smoothed. She swallows once, twice, and you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw. Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
With the words comes a river of impulses, thoughts as if loosed from a breaking dam, and as your mind wraps the impulses into words, you realize it is her muscles and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There is such an intensity, you almost want to step back from the flow, but you find the wave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. Among them is a name, Watcher. What is the birthing bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glanfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
In your memory, were you helping a woman give birth?
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There was much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Adra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide draughts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me about the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me, from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in the mother's thoughts.
You sensed the mother's thoughts? Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, as can hardships, and most of all, the sharing of what is familiar. The bell itself provided shelter for such thoughts, opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock where one could find shelter, clefts where you could feel the Adra all around you. As she speaks, you feel your legs bent, crossed, and the warmth of walls around you and blankets woven thick beneath you. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasted years. What would happen after the birth? Once the pain is channeled away and the mother and child breathe again, I sound the birthing bells on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing in each other's thoughts. The bells open the way between them, let her feelings pass into the newborn, and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave another memory and leave it tied in their minds. Do these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after. I gave assent to the child after delivery. It is a reminder of the memory of the mother and child shared. You feel an odd sensation, a warmth, and you can feel a smile being shared, then it flickers and it is gone. As the bells coax the child forth, so they accompany the child onwards, fastened about the wrists to care for him in mind and body. There is no magic in it except the magic of practicality. If a child sought to leave their cradles or escape their cribs, the mother could know through the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. The sensation of a smile comes again, slower, more knowing between you. If not watched, children, much trouble may be had from tiny hands. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer. When I no longer hear them sounding in my mind, I know their spirit has changed and the bonds we shared are long gone. This shedding may last many years, or but a few, but it is necessary. You watched over these children for years after their births. Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their souls were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their mind and grant them strength even from afar. It did not always serve, but it gave hope. It sounds like you've seen tragedy too, enough to never wish to feel it again. In the times before the bell, children who died were cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell. Sometimes, while alive, their paths and futures were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are past. I have other questions about the birthing bell. Ask what you will. I will provide what answers I can. Why would you give a telling of a child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived.
There is a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she is going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen, and there is a spike of fear, alarm.
Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
Oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. You feel the word watcher resounding in her mind. You're frightened, something about watchers. As the thought of watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain, stabbing, and the sudden burn of lashes across your back and shoulder. And then it is gone, and you feel the grieving mother before you, silent, almost fearful, wary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
Why did you believe you were a watcher?
The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watcher seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts.
But if they came to you to read their child's souls, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
What if it turned out to be untrue?
Futures fulfilled by one's own spirit are as strong as anything seen by another's eyes. And if one draws from the emotion of the mother, it matters only when harm is done. And their lives I knew well. I could weave their lives, their thoughts over time, to the mother, to the child, and once the child had been born, was sheltered, I could relax the threads of thought until the child could stand on its own.
So you shaped their thoughts, made the readings true.
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
That is not what a watcher does. We do not shape minds, we see them as they are.
Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling.
This is foreshadowing to what she actually did. She was brainwashing people into believing that their hollow-born children were real children. And then the spell broke.
And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gained strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them. And with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong.
I see.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
Did we share that memory, or did you inflict it on me? And suddenly there is a rasping cry across your consciousness. She raises her hands, and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
Yes, I am certain I will.
That is good, Watcher.
Let us discuss something different. I heard the name Watcher in your thoughts when you remembered the birthing bell. Why?
It is because I once believed I was one, and others believed I was one.
There is a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she is going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen. Why did you believe you are a Watcher? The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watchers seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts. There is another name for someone with your abilities. I see the word cipher in your mind and see its meaning, although I did not train in such things, and the title feels more of a cloak the world casts on me and judges me for. It is curious how a title such as that can define one, and at times be the source of such emotion that comes from no one but the voices of others. It is a curse of the world. Do you know anything about Watchers? I feel that they were once marked, hated. Such hate feels dimmed now. I can feel it. Other hatreds have risen for other titles. But they burned bright in the past. Now hates have shifted focus, and they may fall the same again, either you or me. Okay, let's ask something else. I wanted to know more about you.
And I you. In asking, we reveal ourselves to each other.
Why are you called the Grieving Mother? The air seems to go still for a moment, and time stretches as it did before when the two of you first met. There is a wash of uncertainty from her mind, slowly shaping into questions that swirl and do not coalesce. She does not move. She seems paralyzed, as if you have just wrapped her in a cold blanket.
That is a question for you, not I. That is not my name, Although if you wish to hang the title on me, I cannot stop you. Is that what you see when your eyes fall upon me?
So I named you? As a watcher, you may see what I do not, or your mind shapes the thoughts I project into new meaning. So there is truth in that title, but it is not all I am. So what do you grieve then? You must have felt it, seen it. It has as many names as the pain it has caused. As the words take shape, they seem to tumble from her, and the wave is great, rushing into your mind. To your surprise, you feel as if you've been touched by the Pioc again, and behind it, cutting through the torrent like a knife, are the thoughts of the grieving mother. There is a wound cut across the belly of the world, a jagged knife that has stripped the stems from men and carved furrows across the wombs of women. There is much I have forgotten, but I can still feel the wound. But I can feel the wound all around me. It will not let me rest, not let me be. The children have gone silent, yet their voices may be heard again. Are you speaking of the Hollowborn? The word, there is a slowness of thoughts, as if the word is being weighed, accepted. It doesn't feel natural to her, you can sense it. The word was once unknown to me, as was much of what unfolded in the outside world. When the curse came upon us, I thought it a smaller thing, a thing of communities and hearths. Her thoughts seemed to stumble as if on weak legs. It was only when I walked did I feel it stretching out around me, in all the cracks of the world. Children have been cursed. I do not think it was something they caused, nor something deserved. That which is inside them has been torn away. I do not know how, but this wound must be stitched close. The world bleeds forth from between a woman's legs. If this blood is not stemmed, the world will die and grow quiet. Do you know its cause? There is a desperation, a welling fear. You can almost feel her thoughts shivering, and you realize she is as lost as you are in the matter. And then a sudden sharp clarity. I shall know it through you. Your eyes will track the cause, find the path, and I will be beside you. There is no wound that cannot be healed, and if you are truly a watcher, then this wound may be seen for what it is. You saw me where I hid. Whoever's hands have stilled the world, you shall see them too. Exactly, it's Theos. And if there is no way to heal it, what then? I will be there, and you will do what must be done. You were given your sight so that you may watch the world, and you will tend it. The children shall have their voice again. If your will is weak, then I shall strengthen it. Lean upon me. You feel a weight in her words, as if her hands are on your shoulders. You feel the questions in your mind lose their edge and become merely words as I lean upon you. You shall be my eyes, as I shall be your hands when the time comes. What do you think of Deerwood and the Empire? Those titles are markings on the map and channel people's minds in violent directions. Such things are a threadbare blanket cast over the world where men and women seek more importance than simply being. How do you see the world then? The world is a field of souls tilled by Bareth's wheel. The thought of cultures and territories do not concern me. The sowing and harvest of the field does. Bareth's wheel has slowed, perhaps stopped altogether. Whatever words, titles, laws, and blades not devoted to carving away the harm or healing that wound holds little importance for me. There's something else I would know about you. I think that's all of it. Heck yeah, dream and memory. Learn of the grieving mother's past. Okay. Perhaps she'll open up more as our journeys continue. I think I have to level up
Yes?
more. And I have just spent an hour and 16 minutes. I guess an hour about 6 minutes if I include the pre-stream setup. Just talking to my party. Heck yeah. Okay, let's sell some stuff.
Gods keep you.
I'd like a... Oh, no. Not a room. I want to sell things. Oh, cancel. Savory pie. Let's sell this armor. This trap. This is a letter home. Yeah, I don't really need that. Stash. Oh, I think I already sold everything. Before Yep, I think I pretty much sold almost everything.
I'm here.
Can I craft things now? Can I enchant this? Quality. Damaging. Fine. I want fine. Oh, I need money. I'm low on money. Let's see. Let's build things. Is the barracks... Oh, I need money. Okay, the barracks will be finished in 1 day, 17 hours. We got the mechanics one. So, with what time I have left, I'm gonna continue doing some side quests. There's a side quest in Anslog's Compass. Oh, Durance is a fine sword. Who has the arquebus? I think. Oh, it's still with Kana. Let's go to Anslog's Compass. Actually, let's go check Magran's fork. Let's go explore this area. There's like some magical items you can get here, like from the Adra pillars in the southeast or southwest. Southwest. All right, let me see what items we have. What weapons do you? She does not have any weapon focus, so exactly have her do a crossbow. Oh, that's a wolf. Grieving mother, go hit it. Oh shit! Just auto attack him. Dead. Click. We actually turn spirit shift. Well, we don't need to. Oh, it's dead. That was fast. Like, okay, we're actually over a level now. We can just auto attack. There's like a. Yep, there's Adra pillars here. There's like a loot thing. It's like a dead adventurer. There it is. It's a fine greatsword. Nice. Who do I give it to? Adair, maybe? Hold on. He doesn't have weapon focus. I mean, I could. Is this enchanted? Yeah, it is. Me? Do I have? Well, I have an S-stock. Yeah, I just keep that as loot. I
Of
suppose.
course.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Your reflection warps and twists in a live gleaming Adra. Okay. We're just gonna clear the entire map, I suppose. Explore! Anslog's Compass is already revealed. Oh, something here. St. Giron's Horn. Clear the shroud. Okay, that is cleared. Ooh. What's this? Boar.
Quiet.
Shed no blood.
Oh wow, miss.
What?
Let's have Aloth start shooting things. Alright. Oh wow. I need you to spirit shift.
Hey,
Shoot this thing. And I guess have you just rapier the young boar.
My mom.
Alright, now we can do this. Dead. Aloth, switch back to this. Alright, now we can just click on them.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Heck yeah, we just did animal cruelty for no oh, we did get some XP. Not a lot, but some. Okay. Keep moving, keep exploring. Is there anything here on top? Oh, who's that? Folmar. Ah, oh, hello there. Begging your pardon, but you gave me a good fright. I thought I heard something rustling through the brush. Suppose it was just you, silly of me. Don't suppose you happen to need some supplies. I thought I'd make my way over to Modmar Bridge, but I'm starting to think I'd be better off heading back to town and getting a few more folks together. Better safe than sorry, right? Say, did you hear something? What? Oh, wolf. Okay, it's a wolf. Exactly, give ourselves blessing. This attack, shift. Hold on. Grieving Mother, I need you to, I guess, Ice Strike? There! You're dead. Alright. By every star in the sky, thank you. I've never seen these beasts so bold before. Strange times we're in. Here, take these. I'm heading back to Gilded Vale for certain, and you can make better use of them. Potion of Minor Endurance. Let's give them to... I guess... Oh, how do I split these? Do I double click them? Ah, that's how. You double click. Ah, heck. Okay, so let's give one to Aloth, one to Piravias, and I guess one to Durance.
Yes?
Which XP do we have? Well, we're still nowhere near. Oh, was that a wolf?
I'll stay out of sight.
Fuck it, let's click on them.
Yeah. Yes?
My thoughts were
Let's cast Blessing.
dull.
More Blessing.
Your thoughts
Auto attack. I guess let's have him do a sword. Okay. Wizard level 1. It's Alice Grimoire. Oh, because I haven't learned those spells yet. I can't actually use them. Okay, that's mental binding.
Yes?
Click. Got it.
Of course.
Anything here? Oh, there's a tower. Yep. Oh, there's a tower with like a secret compartment there.
Quiet.
I shall end it.
Oh, got him. And it's dead. That was quick.
And what does the flame reveal?
Club, lockpick, and silver fanning. And there's an ingredient here. Orland's Cradle. What's this? Settler's Arrow. It's like a random hut in the middle of nowhere. This is basically where Kolsch hides out. If you decide to betray him to Radric. There we go.
Easy.
Any secrets here? Nope. Okay, what else? Is there anything else here? I think there's like an encounter here with some of Radrick's people. Yep, there it is. There, that one. Get that one. Alright, let's shoot you.
Yeah?
Give them accuracy. Alright, now we're gonna daze them. Dazed. Oh, she's dead. That was fast. More days. Alright, we can just shoot them. And that's it. That was fast.
Indeed.
New grimoire from Ludrana. Let's give the grimoire to Aloth. And let's read this. Ludrana's orders. It seems I have no choice but to provide you with instruction. Radrick's forces are spread thin, and the road through the wilds to the south of Gilded Vale lies unguarded. Given these favorable circumstances, I'm sure that even you can manage to handle a peasant or two. The archers tell me that Kolch's men made south after their escape. If you should happen to retrieve one of their number, I may be convinced to forgive your previous mistakes. For the last time, you are to keep clear of Defiance Bay. Know that if you cannot be trusted to acquire a useful specimen with even a modicum of discretion, I have no qualms whatsoever about using what materials I have at my disposal instead. Oh. Ooh, threatening. Alright, so let's loot her. Let's actually have Aloth learn some of the spells here. Heated Caress, Necrotic Lance, yeah, that sounds nice. Oh, this one's nice. Chill Fog is a very powerful one. You've learned a new wizard spell. Remember that you must add new wizard spells to Grimoire before they're available for you to use. Yes, let's try another Grimoire. This is Merwald's Grimoire. Fireball! Yeah, let's do Fireball. Do I not have... Oh, I don't have the money. Oops. I'll do that some other time then. I think that's all the encounters here, unless there's something here. The bottom. No, I don't think so. Oh, there's a fucking troll.
Halo.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Dead.
I shall.
Oh, this Fulvano's amulet, another Fulvano item. Plus 5 reflex, 25% healing. Fulvano, chewed letter. Worried he may have come to harm. I wonder if we ever meet Fulvano. Okay, so plus 5 reflex, 25% healing gain. So do I have an amulet? I do. So I guess I can give it to Durance, I suppose. I think that's the entire map. Yep, we pretty much cleared the entire map. Let's go to Anslau's Compass now. 6 hours. There's also a merchant here, so we can sell more stuff to upgrade our keep with. Dunrid Sile leaves the stronghold. Oh no! Oh well.
I'll see what I can find.
Let's talk to these two. Two villagers stand by one of the tide pools. They are breathing harshly, clearly winded, and look up nervously as you approach.
Hello.
If you're here to fish, as we were, stranger, you'll want to avoid the compass proper. Her companion shakes his head. A lot of ships wind up spread across the rocks here, so we didn't think much of the wreckage until we heard something. A terrible noise. I thought maybe it was a survivor. Ooh, what's that? Greetings, Vilza. Thanks for the host, and welcome to my stream. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity 1. I'm planning on playing PoE 1 and then importing my game into PoE 2 to complete the entire series. A terrible noise. I thought maybe it was a survivor, but he wasn't alive. Moving, but not truly alive. It was awful. What are you two doing out here? Fishing, of course, except I lost my fishing rod when I flung it at the head of one of those monsters. He sighs. We were looking the tide pools over and thought we'd try our luck down by the rocks. Got the fright of our lives. We'll have to make do with the nets here or go hungry. You said there are a lot of shipwrecks here. All the time. It's a lovely place, but dangerous as anything to sail. Good fishing most days. She wipes her brow. I think we'll look further up the coast next time. What do you mean? What did you see? Corpses. Walking corpses. We don't want any part of it, whatever the cause. Might be we can find something in these tide pools, and we're headed straight home. Farewell. Good tidings to you. Wait, do you hear that? Oh, shit. Goodness. Is he gonna die? Durance, save this poor idiot. There, we saved them. Okay, everyone, let's fucking fuck them to death. Kill them. You have mental binding? Yeah, you can mental bind them. There is, yeah, okay, you're fine. Cool. Alright, now we can just attack. And they're bound. That should make this trivial. God, it's such a mess. Thank you for the help, stranger. Just fucking rush in and almost got themselves killed.
Of course.
Nice.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Alright, that's crabs and small fish cluster in this pool, left behind by the tide. Oh, Zaurip.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Shoot. Oh, this was a paladin. Shit. Oh, it's some epic music playing. Let's have my character go into autopilot. Have this guy spirit shift. Alof, start shooting things.
Hi?
There, got him. Start shooting things. Okay, there we go. That was easy.
Hmm? Keeping an eye out.
Ooh, what's that? Page from Fulvano's Travels. Oh, there's Ranga. You find yourself facing a towering Amawa woman. Her skin is the warm gold brown of a dying sunset, with pale fish-white patches at throat and hands. Wavy red-brown hair, pulled into tight braids around a stripe of bare skin that follows the curve of her skull, flows down over her broad shoulders.
Well met, friend.
She regards you calmly, evidently unsurprised to find you here at the edge of her camp by the water. Have you come for medicines and craftworks, or to share the fire? She gestures to the large cauldron nearby. Afra sent me. She says that you know some way to ensure that her child is not a hollowborn. Ah, more of Lord Radric's frightened flock. She nods slowly. You are kind to come all this way. Poor Afra must be beside herself. I imagine she gave you something for payment. Whatever it is, you keep it. I don't need coin. I need you to do something for me instead. Ranga points inland. There is a Zaurip tribe to the northeast, led by one of their priests. Tana was exiled from there some time ago, and their scouts still lurk about this place, waiting for an opportunity to end his life. The Jalrip lets out a rattling squawk, head drooping. One day I will have to go for supplies, and I will come back to find my assistant slain. How will I help anyone then? She shakes her head. You rid me of this nuisance, and I will do what I can for Afra, and throw in something for you, too. Can I just give you some copper instead? Ranga laughs quietly. Funny thing about moving out here, copper coins don't seem to have as useful as they used to. Now, favors that I can appreciate. Do this for me and you can keep your coin. You'll find I'm much more willing to trade than the Zaurips are. Okay, we're gonna kill them to death.
Quiet.
Like, around here. Ooh, what's that? More Fulvano's notes.
Anslag's compass was fun to design,
Oh.
even just in terms of it being so different from all the other areas we were working on at the time. The name was an effort at the kind of goofy names that landmarks tend to pick up, and it ended up causing everyone on the team a ton of trouble to remember. Environment art did a great job with the render, and then the effects guys came in and really just made the place come to life. Once the waves were in, I tentatively asked for floating seaweed, thinking that it would never happen, and they got that working too. It was one of the first proof of concept areas for more involved effects work, and once people saw the results, it kicked off a bunch of cool ideas in other areas.
Interesting. Floating seaweed, I guess I'll have to look for that. I forgot I turned on the dev commentary in this game. Alright. Oh shit. Ah, fuck. I forgot. I accidentally, Alright, let's just fuck them up.
What?
Alright, nice. Now I can, mental binding. Now I can have you do this. Spirit shift. Alright, you're all bunched up. Nice. Nice. And now I can blast you with this. And you can just have Aloth auto attack. And shift click to keep him attacking. Have Durance go in. Start slashing. Nice. More mental binding. And they're all dead.
That's it!
Where is this?
I'm here.
Nice. We just killed them all to death. Oh, what's that? There's a potion. I think it's a sellable thing.
Easy now.
Are there any secrets here? Nope. Clamshells and crab carapaces litter the coals. Ooh, what's that? Is that Fulvano? Dead Valian. It is Fulvano. He's fucking dead. This is a fine arbalest. Oh, wow. This is a good, I guess, opening weapon for, what's her name? Grieving Mother? Oh, I did give her a crossbow. A fine crossbow. 26 to 38. This is very slow, though. Basically, she won't be attacking a lot. I guess that can be her opening attack.
Indeed.
Alright, let's keep going. Oh, there's a, what is that? A ghoul? Yeah, it's a ghoul. Grieving Mother, do your thing. Oh, she missed! Fuck. There, how much damage did you deal? Holy Radiance 2 gray, 6 hit. How much damage you deal to the ghoul? Holy oh, frightened for 8.9 seconds. There. Holy radius is basically turned undead.
Yes?
It's vessel flesh.
I shall.
My thoughts will be
There's
as
more
silent as my
ghouls here. We can just auto attack them, I guess. Click. Got him. And now we can just use her blade thing. There. Oh, there's more of them. Alof, I need you to start blasting.
Yeah.
Hold on. Click. You're not attacking. I need you to attack again. I guess. Heal?
How may I help?
Blood makes the...
Oh, he's gonna go down. Can I heal him? Fuck. I guess I can try to mental binding. Oh, nice! He got saved with 3 hit points.
Of course.
Alright. He's very low on health though. Ooh, what's that?
Nice and quiet.
Just a morning star. Oh, more ghouls. Or more one ghoul. Oh, get away!
Yes?
Let's go here. Mental binding. They're all frightened now, except for that one. Now I need you to transform. Alright, start killing things. Oh, you have one more arcane assault. Got him.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.
One.
I shall.
At the center of a ring of jagged stone, this boulder casts long shadows
Of
across
course.
the sand as the sun moves. What? Skyward? Moves overhead. So it's like a natural sundial. Ooh, what's that? Page from Fulvano's travels. I think those are clues to where his where Fulvano's items are located. Okay, let's go to Ranga's camp now. Double speed.
thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
We're pretty close to, I guess, to level 5.
Indeed.
Welcome.
Is it done? Am I rid of the interminable squawking of the Zaurips? Scree? No, Tana, I do not mind yours. They're all dead. Good. I tired of their feeble attempts to surprise us. Here, for your trouble, and now we can get underway with my part of the bargain. I will get started on the mixture, but I need one more ingredient. Some spores from the creatures in that cave there. She points just north of her little stretch of beach. Sporelings, they call them. It is a useful material. I need one for the mixture. You are welcome to any others you find. I'll go find some. Good. I will prepare the rest while you are gone. Once you return, it should not take very long to finish.
I'm here.
Alright. Oh, there's another Zaurip remaining. Shoot him! Hit! Oh, we got him. Click. Click. Oh, that was easy. You could just auto attack them.
Indeed.
What's this? Cave coral. Okay, we're gonna be fighting some sporelings, which are basically the equivalent of the myconids from D&D. Oh, did the game crash? It seems to have loaded. What the hell's going on? Huh, that's weird. So, it seems the game... Oh, goodness. What's going on? The game didn't update